Uh, hello, hello. Welcome back to this.
Heidi, hi.
I am Tom, and with me is Tom. And
Also,
today we're
Tom.
going to be talking about one short album and three singles. We're going to be talking about IDK and Friends, a
With the
new,
smiley face at the end.
can't forget that, a new hip hop trap album. Then we're going to be talking about Nowhere to Go, Earl Sweatshirt's new single, and the
He's
first
back.
hiatus. Then we're going to talk about Basquiat from Ibibio Sound Machine. And finally, we're going to close it with In This House by Lil Wayne, an extra from the album, The Carter 5. Okay, so IDK and Friends. Tom, would you
Let's
care to
get it.
this project?
Well, it was a very interesting thing that sort of came out of nowhere for me. But I had the track with Denzel Curry that was a single recommended to me, so I thought I'd give this project a listen. And I was not let down. What a 7 tracks. If I was to sum this up very shortly, it would be a short project with little cohesion, but it's just 7 tracks with 7 friends from
Yeah,
IDK, and
fair
I
enough.
thought that was pretty lovely, man.
I
Kicked
think
off. Oh, sorry.
it's a it's definitely it's an intriguing project, and it goes so hard. It's got
He
me
was
potential.
he was a bit upset because he should have probably been on the double XL freshman list
Hmm.
this year, but he's probably going to be on it next year unless he says, "Nah, fuck you, I'm too big now."
I think the latter sounds more badass, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's also, as far as I'm aware, the only person to get a good Russ verse on a song he did with Russ Joe Badass. It was a very good listen. But anyway, enough about Russ. We kick
This
off the
is a
we
very short album. It's 16 or 17 minutes.
yeah, and it
Very
just it doesn't muck about. It goes straight in with the
not at all.
banger poke poke.
Oh, and what a banger it is.
I love the
It's,
hook to this song, man.
mm, it's a great opener. It has the bass in it is so rich and deep and
Yeah,
powerful. It's mm, it's got meat to it.
and then
I
Jay's
thought,
verse, his flow is crazy.
and then the flow in later from the feature. There's a funny little line on that. I got 300 on my neck. I'm the Pope. A
I did like
friend.
his line when he first came in. The if you don't want beef, I'm the goat.
Yeah. It's such a good opener. Really powerful. It really sets the tone, and
Yeah,
it's I think it's kept up with the second one, Moral.
moral.
It continues the energy, keeps it going. It's compact. It's powerful production, and that's the thing throughout this thing. It feels none of the production is especially like spacey.
Mhm.
It, it's often very compact, very tense, very um, uh, I just say compact. It's concentrated. That's what I'd say. Concentrated.
And Jay had a
It's
lot of funny
uh,
lines on this one to cover that as well. It had the start off with the line about his pockets being full, so his trousers look like MC Hammer's hammer pants. Make her disappear. It ain't my fault, bitch. I'm magical. No, mystical. Sorry. And then there was that bit where he said something like, "You're not a girl to me. You're not my boo." No, Usher and Alicia Keys because they made a song called My Boo, and then he started singing it for a couple of seconds. Although this was the only track for me where the featured. I didn't actually know that when the first 2 times I listened to it without really studying what was happening too much, and I
Hmm.
didn't even realize there was a feature on here. It just sounded like a slightly higher voiced IDK. So
Yeah, I agree. The feature uh didn't stand out as much as some of the other ones on here, especially
the
um
next one,
the next one. Once Upon a Time freestyle with Denzel Curry.
What a guy.
Oh yeah, not fresh off of, but he dropped an album this year. Very good album.
Taboo, not far back.
No, there's some really great tracks on that, and like it's a great performance from both of them, and it has some really good production in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really nice, sort of not Spanish, but that sort of
There's Latin
guitar.
flavour to it.
Latin flavor. There we go. Thank you, Tom, for the save. It reminded me a bit of that Joe Badass song "Front and Center," just in terms of the instrumental.
Yeah, I
Uh,
see that.
it had some great bass, and there was some cool lyrics in it. Like I think there was one. Um, she went, but her last man couldn't swim. No, but her last man wasn't a good swimmer.
And then Denzel Curry said, I'm just trying to evolve like a Togepi. Any Pokemon line gets a thumbs up from me.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
We were ordered to stream his shit. Oh, it's good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it
And
was
just the way
wicked.
that Denzel kicked it off, and then Jay comes in with the "If you try and fuck with Zell, then I'm gonna be forced to raise hell." And one thing I would say about this, his performances throughout the whole thing, his flows are always on point.
Mm. Some of them are really cool as well. Some of them are pretty fast. Like, I got a bit of an Eminem flavor, like early Eminem flavor from some of them.
Mm.
Pretty fast.
And
Yeah.
right after that, we had Bad News, probably the heaviest track of them all.
Yeah, I agree. And I thought, who better a feature than for the hardest trap beat than Rico Nasty?
Oh yes, that is a fact.
I listened to her today, following your recommendation, and from what I listened, this is a very Rico Nasty beat.
Yeah, definitely.
And
This is the type of stuff she's been thriving on all year.
yeah, it reminded me. Her performance in here was a bit like I mean, the whole thing reminded me a bit like a Smack a Bitch. I think. Reminded me a bit of that. I thought it was awesome, really cool. It's yeah, one of the hardest songs on here, and it demonstrates like this really impressive production. There's some real just so much power in the beats. It's wicked.
Yeah, this is probably definitely one of the highlights for me, and probably one of the best guest appearances as well.
Yeah,
From
yeah.
Rico.
It's got some. I like the idea of it. Isn't there a feature on every single song?
Yeah, that's the whole Friends concept.
Yeah, I think that's wicked. Great concept. And yeah. So following that, we have Stop, which was, I think it was one of the. There were two which didn't do it for me. It's these two songs, Stop and OMG, and
Oh, I was going to say this was my least favorite one,
it's
but I quite liked OMG.
I think it's not that I didn't like OMG. I just didn't have much to. It didn't stand out compared to some of the others, in my opinion. But Stop, I felt the beat was just. I know I've just said the beats are amazing. They are all great, except I'd say this one. This is the
Mm.
one. It doesn't gel. I know you introduced the project as lacking some cohesion, and this is really where it does like cohesion. This beat's just out of nowhere, and it's a bit strange.
Yeah, and I didn't particularly like Cue the Fool's contribution either. So it was my first introduction to him, and I don't think I'm in a rush to listen to anything else he's done.
Oh, yeah.
It was
That's
just
cool.
I don't really like anything about this song. It was definitely the weakest for me.
Yeah,
But I'm going
I
to
agree.
disagree with you with OMG. Our boy Kenny Beats on production, and then
Kenny,
I agree it wasn't the best song, but I thought it added something. And Wale, the feature, had a very funny line. I'm up all night like a Fortnite player.
okay.
That resonated with me. But I mean, I can see where you're coming from. It didn't stand out as much as some of them did, and it wasn't Jay's best performance.
But
I think it went out with a bang.
Yeah, I agree. I think it went out with a bang. And it was Domo Genesis was the feature, and I haven't heard much from Domo Genesis.
Yeah, Odd Future fame.
Yeah. It was
This song was different in the way that we've had some trap beats, but they've all been quite heavy, and then this one was really laid back.
It was a bit it was funky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wicked. It was a nice change of pace, and I thought it worked well for the closer.
Yeah, definitely.
I loved Domo Genesis introed it, or gave the first bars, and it was this cheeky little riddle me this, riddle me that. Oh, it's great. It was it's just one of those really cool lines, and it worked so well with the sort of playful, funky beat.
Yeah, I mean, he's not been the most prolific or standout of feature member, but I think he's probably maybe the 5th best member. And bear in mind, there are a lot of members.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, he's got that No Idols project with The Alchemist. That will always be fantastic, but beyond that, he hasn't done a lot for the game. Oh, and those those features he's done for Earl and Tyler, they were great as well. But still,
I haven't much of it.
And this feature as well.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good feature.
Especially to round off the project.
Yeah, and give it a strong ending. It's definitely one that anyone can listen to this. You know, it's great. Mm-hmm. It's such a good, it's such a good easy length. You just bash it out, and it's well worth bashing out several times.
And it's one of those things that you listen to and it just flies by, and then you're like, I'm going to whack that on again.
And I must say, that is the case with every single thing we're reviewing today. Some of them may, 3 minutes, the tracks just fly by. This is a strong week.
Yeah.
And so, shall we rate this and then move on to the singles?
I think I am going to give it the same number of tracks and same number of friends. So it's going to be a 7 out of 10 for me.
I agree.
First full project I've ever listened to by him, and I'm very impressed.
Yeah, I'm very impressed too. I'm looking forward to some more stuff coming up, especially with some of these hard trappy beats. They're very impressive.
And also, considering I'd hardly ever heard, the first time I heard of him was when he was on a track with Russ and Joey Badass. And here he's got Wale, Denzel Curry, Rico Nasty, and Domo Genesis on here. So he's obviously making some waves.
He's getting around a bit.
Yeah, interesting to see if he if there's any more collaborations down the pipeline.
There definitely shall be. I'm looking forward to IDK and Friends Volume 2.
Oh, are you predicting a Volume 2?
I'm calling it. Okay. So
speaking of former Odd Future members,
and those whom have had hiatuses.
Oh yes.
Shall we go on to the next?
Well, this is a self inflicted hiatus. Obviously, he. I think we'd have heard music more recently if, unfortunately, his father hadn't passed away.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that did happen for poor Earl Sweatshirt. And so we've had he had a long grieving period. There was the Mumps radio show. He didn't do it. He got a guest in on the Red Bull radio, which is well worth a listen, by the way.
They play some interesting stuff.
Play some bangers. And but he's back now with this new track, Nowhere to Go. I'm not entirely sure who produced it. I can't find anywhere this information. But it interests me because it's so crazy. It's just all over the place.
What a what a track to come back with. It's great. It's
This is very I don't like shit, I don't go outside-esque, I thought. Perhaps not instrumentally as such, but like the length and lyrically, it certainly brought me back to those sort of tracks.
Yeah, it did remind me of that. It's just a new and improved version. It's the beat though. Oh, the beat is a talking point. It's so abstract. It's glitchy. It's compelling.
And there's these random vocal samples that sound a bit like Justin Vernon from Bon Iver, I thought.
Right. Okay.
Just come in, sing for a bit, and then it would zip out. And yeah, and like you said, it was glitchy. There was all this stuff going on. Well, Earl was talking on the subject matter, but I think it sounded like his current mental state. One of the first lines he said, "I think my whole life I've been depressed," which obviously isn't great. But
I heard some lines
lyrically,
in there
I
about.
liked it.
Sorry.
No, you carry on.
Okay. I swear I heard some lines in there about just improvement and perhaps this hiatus has been it's given him time to think and improve and better himself, albeit come out stronger following the hiatus and the grieving period.
Well, it's not been his first hiatus either.
No, it hasn't.
Between Earl and Doris, where his mum sent him to, was it Ghana? Some school for gifted children or something? Anyway. So yeah, he just came in, he spat his bars. I thought at the time he was quite hard to hear. That was the only thing about the beat.
Yeah, that's what I'd say.
I didn't really particularly like, but
if an upcoming album has beats like this throughout it, like these new and improved abstract beats with I mean, if he's easier to hear, that'll help. But I think the beat, I can hear it in my head now. It's a bit of an earworm. It's great. It's
that vocal sample's ingrained in my brain.
Yeah, it's like nothing else. I'd say the beat is like nothing else I've heard from him before, and it's he's sort of it's a more I think it's a more grown up sound, and I guess he's moved away from that Odd Future we go kill them all sort of sound now. That was on Doris, and I don't like shit. I don't go outside. Although it was improved on I don't like shit. I don't go outside. But I think anything that comes out, an album like this, could be a very strong contender for his best project.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to expect. Like, can an album of tracks like this exist? We wait to find out, I guess.
I think it's a great feat when you can keep people guessing as to what it's going to be like. What you next produce. I think
it shows that you stylistically are versatile and you're experimental and you're open to new ideas.
So,
which we highly condone on this show.
Piqued our interest, Earl. Don't fuck it up.
Okay. Indeed. Next up, Nigeria and London combination, Ibibio Sound Machine.
They brought out. Sorry, they've come out with a new single called Basquiat. I assume being a reference to the artist,
the late artist.
It's. I think it's a bloody great track. It sounds a lot more Afro than the stuff on the last album.
Yeah, I was gonna say the beginning reminded me of like a Fela Kuti track, except from the fact that
I was gonna say the same.
Except from the fact that his tracks always start with instrumentation and have vocals, whereas she was singing from the start. But it definitely hard Fela Kuti vibes.
Yeah, like a zombie vibe. I was listening to Fela Kuti this week.
Never a bad idea.
Well, no, it was like Afrobeat, like some old Afrobeat, but with better more modern, deeper production, and with more punch. That's what I
Yeah,
think.
it's got the sort of the Fela Kuti elements, but it also has some synthetics to it as well.
Yeah, and they're like sort of um, iconic Ibibio sound machines. Those really cool drums and bass driving.
Yeah, yeah, because I had that EP earlier in the year that was a bit more electronic and a bit more crazy. This was
Yeah,
sort of a
hey,
this was sort of a mixture of the great album from last year, which
mm,
name is evading me at this moment,
it's alright.
and the EP. Sort of, this is an amalgamation of the two.
Yeah,
And
it's
I agree with you. I thoroughly enjoyed this cut.
it has some really nice piano and guitar towards the end, and it reminded me of the Talking Fish. It felt more like that than the album they dropped last year than some of the songs in that. And the Talking Fish was the first Ibibio Sound Machine song that I heard, and I loved it. So I'm very happy with this track. It's extremely enjoyable, neat, and listenable. I've listened to it like 3 or 4 times. Every time it just goes by like that.
Mm.
It's 3 minutes. It feels like nothing. It could be longer. If it were 9 minutes, then it'd be a proper Afrobeat sort of
I
thing.
feel like it's only a matter of time before they do longer jams.
Yeah.
Because
Uh,
their songs progress, but they sort of don't stay in the one place. It probably stays for sort of like just the amount of time that you understand it and you like it, and then it goes. But it could be a lot longer, I think.
yeah, I'd
But
like it if
this is a great single.
great single. I'm looking forward to an upcoming project if there is one to come.
And you'd assume so if there is a single. However,
Hmm.
there's a single for the next artist, and we know there shouldn't be an upcoming project because this is a
Because it literally just dropped.
post project release
And
from
what
the
a
Card
mm,
5.
I'm so sad it wasn't actually on the project.
Yeah, there were 3 tracks released. Hasta la Vista. There was a reworking of one of the songs, one of the worst songs, but they put Post Malone in it. Wasn't worth listening to. The Take Keith one, Hasta la Vista. Again, a bit in the middle. But this track,
In
In
this
This
house.
House,
Whoa,
featuring
whoa.
Goo Up,
Mm.
Gucci Mane.
It's it's
Oof.
amazing. It's so good.
If this
I
was on the album, it would have been top 3 tracks.
It would have outshone the rest of the songs. That's the
You
thing.
think it
That's
would be
what
the best song?
I reckon so. It would have made the album. It would have beat all the other songs. That's what it didn't do. It's too good. Ah,
Yeah, man. So it kicks off
really.
with this sample that I believe was taken from a DJ set.
Hmm.
There's some hoes in this house that you hear constantly throughout the
Yeah.
song. But
Oh,
that's
it's
sort of
so
quite
strange.
quiet. Then Gucci Mane comes in, kills his verse. He
Yeah.
does what he does. Go Up is a feature you want. He is one of the ones that if he comes in on your track, you know, unless he's offered the lean, which he obviously isn't because he's kicked the habit.
Hmm.
Well done, Go Up for that. That if he's on his shit like him and 2 Chains, you know that they will always kill the feature,
Yeah.
and he does that. And then Wayne comes in and he's crazy.
It's
And then the sample comes back in as well, and then he's rapping. It's mad. This is a mad single. This is not something I'd expect from Lil Wayne.
no, not. It was different to some of the songs on the Carter Five, and in a good way. It was way more. It was a really powerful track, like sheer volume wise. It's an absolute banger. It's great bass throughout, and Lil Wayne had some. I think it was the pre-chorus or like just after the chorus, but still like a part of the hook. He had some these yappy sort of frenetic vocals. They were really interesting, and it really doesn't feel like 3 minutes long. It's so good. It feels like a 1.5 minute, 2 minute long song. It's great. It's
Yeah, I agree.
and oh, that's it. There's there's that hook like AK-47 365 24/7. Ah, it's great. And then I believe there's a lyric. I'm not sure. I read this in a YouTube comment, but I don't know. Perhaps it's in it. It's like silencer makes bullets tippy toe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bloody great.
And also in the pre-chorus when he goes, "You're a hoe and she a hoe. Now that's too many hoes."
Oh, and Gort talks about spending like 20K on a coat they didn't even want. Oh,
Yeah. I mean, this was so un-Lil Wayne in so many ways. Usually the beats are quite basic and quite subdued, and it's all about his wordplay and his one-liners and his voice.
hmm
The selling point. But in this case, the beat was so crazy, and it was more about
yeah,
his flow than anything else. Because he didn't have, I mean, he had the tippy toes line, and the hook when the beat was quite quieter was funnier as well. But I think by and large, it was more about his flow and his voice that carried the track as well as the sample than his actual wordplay. Because I don't think he actually had that many funny lines compared to usual. But that's not knocking the song in any way.
no, no. This song is it's one to listen to. If you listen to any of the singles, uh, listen to this. It's really really impressive.
There's some
And
balls in this house.
yeah, I mean I play
Just
it in my house. Listen it.
madness. I don't
Um,
know who produced it again, but well done.
thank you, whoever produced
Yes,
it.
thank you indeed.
And okay, that rounds off
Other
this.
than a little shout out that Lil Peep's posthumous album came out. If you want to hear a cleaned up, well mixed Lil Peep,
Mm,
give it a go. We thought it would be best not to review it, given that
yeah,
he didn't have artistic direction over this project.
and also
So that's
it's
why
like
it's not been mentioned today. But if you want to give it a listen, it is out now, so feel free to do that.
yes, and
And as Tom was saying, that is about it today.
yeah,
We've covered IDK and Friends, Smiley Face, um, Basquiat, Nowhere to Go, Earl's Comeback Single, and of course,
in this
In This
house.
House. This has
So
been the TimTom podcast. Thank you very much for listening.
and goodbye.